Hello. Yes, this is a small video about collective consciousness, or what I used to call the collective unconsciousness. You see, I've discussed this topic quite a variety of times and quite a various number of times on different mediums on the internet. I am very pleased to see that since before I was exposed to any media or medium concerning this topic, it was very, very cryptic and unspoken of term, really. But I'm beginning to see more and more people use this term collective consciousness, collective unconsciousness. And it makes me very happy because I was not exposed to any of this, and it actually validates what I believed in. What for me the collective unconsciousness was unconsciousness was that when you consider humanity as a grander whole, as a species in existence, all the natural data of him and her natural existence from the very onset of its beginning had to be stored somewhere. Some could say this could be DNA storage, or this could be even what I used to call a storage from where everything is stored, all the future, past and present knowledge, sort of a database, like how a computer has a hard disk and a database. Well, this is kind of what I'm talking about, but not exactly what I mean. What I'm really trying to say to you is imagine something super powerful enough to super exceed the internet completely. And all what we base upon this media right now that you're using to communicate and hear me right now is the internet. Cables underneath the sea running across the expanses of the continents, connecting us all together at various speeds. Some of us are more privileged to have a higher speed, some of us are more privileged to have a lesser speed, depending on how you can afford it. But this is not the nature at hand. What I want to discuss is that in the collective unconsciousness, you have this grand spectrum of data stored within any human consciousness reach. Why I call it that collective unconsciousness is because most people on the world and in existence so far have been unable to tap this, except for a few ascending masters. Various sorts of names come up to my mind: Buddha for one, Gandhi, and so forth. Why I mention Gandhi is because he was a very peaceful and revolutionary man that did very high ascending beings of nature while on earth, fasting continuously for days on end without nourishment. Many people cannot fast days on end without nourishment completely. He did very little to keep himself alive, but he did manage to live long enough for one of the lower entities, corrupted by greed and fueled by money and other unknown sources, put an end to him and his life and his work. But it lived on beyond him. But this is not the point. But the point is, in this data source, you have a wide variety of people that can connect with you. Things can be reached and possibly reached within our own lifetimes. AI 2012, the unknown and knowing day of reckoning and collective consciousness awakening, so to speak. But then again, we have to consider the here and now. In this window we have between now and then, how can we better consciously connect to this database, this collective unconsciousness, therefore bring it from an unconscious state worldwide to a conscious state. This is remarked has been a dangerous thing for everyone to become conscious. But why is it so dangerous if everyone shares a common consciousness, other than a self-induced hypnotic induction into this three-dimensional world where everything and anything is given to you over a premeditative mindset conveyed over subliminal or vibrational energies to influence your thinking and way of will? I don't think that we need to carry on that statement, because we can of course go on and on and on in various terms with that. But what I'm talking about right now is how can we all elevate ourselves, each and every human being in this planet, to becoming an omniscience, all-knowing and powerful being within a being of physical flesh, perhaps even more, to ascend from the flesh itself and become pure light energy. You see, I have been taking a course and I've been reverting my course, which was perhaps very selfish and singular thinking, where my knowledge of anything and everything was basically stored within my own skull and cranium and not really conveyed outward to the world. But I began charting another course, a course where I choose to become more aware of how I conduct my terminology, the way I use linguistic skills, and the way I choose to convey my messages to you, the world. You see, I want to become a better transcending being, and to become better in myself is to become better with you, and with that saying, you yourself can become better with me, and therefore vice versa. There is no ego pull, no ego boost, no ego dwindling. I've talked about the ego before. The ego is one of the biggest obstacles right now, holding us back from actually becoming a better and more extraordinary race of beings in this world. Everything is in touch with us, everything from a single butterfly to a blade of grass, to a grand tree, an ancient tree, to a river, to a brook, to a waterfall. Everything comes to one and one to all. So how can we transcend? That is a big question, one I cannot answer within a few spaces of moments given over this video, but one I choose to take upon myself, and I wish you to join me in this journey to actually finding out how we can become higher, transcending and ascending beings. Music could be a very good source of this. Music could be a most eminent source to making us more aware, because music translates into vibrations. Even a blind and deaf person can feel the vibrations from music, whereas a blind will hear it, the deaf might not hear it but may feel it. So the vibrations we give out, even through the tone of my voice, through this pitch and timbre towards you in this video, has an effect on you. Hence a chant of Om, Om, a universal sound. Everything we see and do with vibrations bear us to the opening of our eyes and to the feeling of our skins, and the palm of our hands rubbing together has a sensation. Sensations are physical bound, of course, but where does a physical bound lead to the spiritual? Many questions have been asked, many questions. Some of them have been given answers to by ascending masters, intellects, philosophers, scientists, mathematicians, musicians, so forth, and the layman, hence me. But we cannot continue asking the questions without coming to one conclusion. We're asking the right questions, aren't we? We are asking, how can we become better each and every day of our lives, whether it be economical, financial, spiritual, health, physical, or emotional one. To ask is to empower yourself with a search of knowledge. Perhaps that is where I should leave this question and this video at, with that statement. To ask a question is to empower yourself with the search of knowledge. Namaste, and thank you for joining me.